What's going on, Detroit Lions fans? Welcome in, Detroit Den 313. Will, I'm just going to say it. The way the NFL refs are calling Brian Branch right now is starting to look personal to me.
Mm,
It's starting
mm,
to look personal. Every week, it feels like the same story clean, physical plays, and somehow Branch is the guy eating all the flags, Will. Meanwhile, we're seeing identical hits around the league not getting hit or called at all. So today, Will, what we're going to do is we're going to go play by play. I got some
mm.
images I'm going to try to get loaded in as you're speaking, slowing it down a little bit, doing some comparisons. I'm going to show some evidence. Will, do you think at all the NFL and its officials have their crosshairs on Brian Branch?
I do. I don't think that it's personal though. I don't think it's personal. I think that it's just one of those things. He's become a villain to these referees, and they're watching him a little more closely. That's what I think it is. I don't think that they're necessarily targeting him because of the name Brian Branch. Like it was something that he did outside of maybe flipping Green Bay fans the bird, maybe some fights after football games. Maybe there's some things that has his name on the blacklist on the radar. Yeah, I absolutely 100% agree and believe that, man.
I know that they do, Will, because it seems like to me, since that little incident with Juju Smith Schuster after the game, served a suspension. I've seen
Yeah.
that type of hit, shove, whatever you want to call it. Wasn't a punch. I've seen that probably 5, 6 times in the last 3 weeks in other games where it's just a scuffle. So are you penalizing a guy just because it happened after the game? Because the hit on Juju wasn't anything that we haven't seen 1,000 times during games, after games. I've seen some scuffles before games, Will. He gets the suspension, probably a little over the top, but I can kind of understand that. And then it seems like after he served that suspension, Will, is when the crosshairs really lined up on him and the
Yeah.
league started paying attention to, hey, and I know that these officials, they have their meetings once they get their game assignments for the week. I know they have meetings. They go over their notes. They compare notes probably with other refs. Hey, you're watching the Lions this week. Hey, keep an eye on 32. Keep an eye on 79, whoever it is. Like, keep an eye on this
Yeah.
guy. This is what he's known for. This is what you can look out for. Does he get a little handsy? Watch for some pass interferences, maybe some stuff to look at. It happens. I think that Brian Branch is the topic of discussion when the Detroit Lions are on defense for some referees. Well, it's just pretty clear to me.
I don't think you're wrong. It's something, if I was an opposing coach, I'd talk about before the game if they have guys that do certain things. So um, I know that it's been talked about that people mention Juju Smith Schuster and the antics that he pulls before football games. So I would imagine Brian Branch is a tough physical secondary player who likes to take his shots when he has the opportunity, and refs are gonna or opposing coaches are going to say, "Hey, listen, be careful with 32. He likes to lead with his head. He likes to hit guys when they're vulnerable and they're not able to defend themselves. Be ready to call that tight." And then with Kirby Joseph, they like to say that he goes low and he takes out knees. So those are things that I 100% know that coaches across the league. I'm not going to say every game, but I know that it's been mentioned across the league by players and coaches. Do I think that there's some truth to it, Steve? Absolutely not. I don't. Absolutely not. And here's why. Like, before people freak out, does it really happen? Or yes, I understand that those plays happen, but those are bang bang football plays. I think that Brian Branch is an old school safety who likes to get physical, who's been a student of the game, who's watched it his whole entire life, and remembers guys like Ronnie Lott and Steve Atwater and John Lynch, and the list goes on. Physical corners, Sean Taylor. All right. So he's watched those guys. Troy Polamalu, I apologize. Is one of my favorite. You know, my son's got the
Yeah,
locks. I
I
like,
literally just
yeah,
told him he
yeah,
was on.
yeah,
Our kids were
yeah,
talking before the game, and he
yeah.
put your headphones on. You couldn't hear me, but I said, "Well, he's got that Palomalo here, just head and
Yeah.
shoulders." Just does he just use
Yeah,
a
we need to
bottle a
book that.
bottle every 3 days? Like, just going through it.
Head and Shoulders contact us, man. The line's open. But yeah, man, those old school safeties that used to be able to play the game a little bit more physical before it was pretty much flag football. He's familiar with those guys, and that's how he plays the game. And sometimes it leads to targeting penalties. And you got to take it for what it's worth. That's what Coach Campbell, that's what Coach Shep want. They want tough, gritty football players that love to get physical. I think if Jack Campbell was playing safety, it might be even more targeting penalties than Brian Branch gets. So you got to take it for what it is, Steve. But bottom line, the premise of this topic, you're dead on. They're looking to call targeting it against Brian Branch. I believe that. If it's a 50-50, they don't know what they're going to do, it's targeting if it's Brian Branch. Maybe if it's somebody else, it isn't.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty clear and obvious that the league just has it out. And I know, let me just get ahead of this 5 minutes into the show. There's going to be people coming on here and saying, oh, you guys are crying about the refs. Well, we won. We won. So there's nothing for me to be upset about. I'm just pointing out something that I don't know if a lot of people are paying attention, but let me just load this in here for you, Will. This is my proof. This was called a personal foul. This is immediately after Wan'Dale Robinson caught a pass and Brian Branch puts a hit on him. Now, it's frozen down. Brian Branch is attempting to lead with his shoulder, a legal play. There is contact to the head. If we're going to call contact to the head on every single play, there's going to be 5,000 penalties, and we're going to be playing football till 3 in the morning. Like, I get it. What is Brian Branch supposed to do in this situation where the receiver makes a catch? Are we supposed to circle around him and say, hey, are you ready? We got to get ready to tackle you, Wan'Dale. Let us know when you're good to go and when you're in a safe position. His job is to separate receiver from ball in a physical manner, but safe. I get it. The league's all about safety, helmets, those guardian caps, concussions, all that stuff. I'm with it. I'm all for it. Extend the players' lifespan as well as when they're out of football and keep them safe and healthy. I'm 1,000% for it. But hits to the head are going to happen. A running back does it when they run through the hole. They lower in their heads. They're trying to push some people over. They're trying to protect themselves. It happens. And actually, a running back lowering their head is a penalty. But how many times do we see it a game? Almost every play. Does it ever get called? Once. I think I've seen it in person. I think I've seen it once, Will. And I think it was about 3 years ago. It just does not get called. But we just can't be splitting hairs on when we're lowering our head or hitting to the head, because this is football. That is Brian Branch's job, to stop the receiver at the very least. The best thing he can do is knock the ball loose and cause a 3rd and long or whatever the situation was in that game. But when that got called, Will, I was just said, that's a Brian Branch call. They're only throwing that flag because it's Brian Branch.
Steve, I'm glad you brought up this topic. This is your topic. I got to give you your flowers, but this is something that's near and dear to me. I mean, you know me as a human. I like to be physical. I love physical football. I love just physical things, physical combatives, boxing, UFC, like all just physical. I like it. But what I've thought about as far as this rule goes, because I joked earlier about the league turning into flag football. I understand player safety is a huge deal. Concussions, guardian caps, trying to make the game as safe as possible while keeping the spirit of the game. I understand all of that. But the problem for me is, as a defender on a bang-bang play, what we teach and what I've learned going through coaches clinics from NFL coaches, Division I coaches, receivers are taught to protect themselves, right? And if you're in a position that you can't protect yourself, you catch it and you get down. So that's the problem. When I catch this football and I know they're sitting in zone coverage and there's traffic and I'm in between 2 guys, I'm catching it and I'm diving down to the ground, which is changing the level or where I got to be as a defender. So if I'm driving on that ball, right, I'm driving on it, he catches it, and I'm thinking I'm just going to launch my shoulder, same hip, same shoulder, proper tackling technique, right? I'm going to launch my shoulder and my hip to make the play. And then all of a sudden, instead of being here, the guy is now here. And then I hit him in the head. I think there should be a ref should be able to determine if the offensive player made a football move. Diving at the ground isn't a football move. That's not a football move. That's not you catching the ball and trying to get upfield. If you dive at the ground and now the defender makes contact to the head or neck area, that's on that defensive or that offensive player for not making a football move, and it should just be a bang-bang play that they let go, because I don't know what a defender is supposed to do, right? The alternative is this, Steve, and I've talked about this. If you go at the knees, right, you don't have to worry about if they dive down. But if they don't dive down, now you're going to have tore ACLs and all different types of things, man. So do you want defenders to start going low on guys, and now we start looking at broken legs and and tore up knees and all types of other issues, right? Or can there be some leeway for to try to make this fair? And I know what people are going to say. Hey, Will's a defensive guy, yada yada. No, I just want it to be fair, right? If a guy dives down at the ground, he should give up his right to being contacted to the head and neck area. Not if he if he makes a football move and gets upfield and he gets struck in the head, that's just egregious by the defender. The defender shouldn't be trying to just lead with their head or make contact to your head and neck area. But if you dive at the ground as a defender, what the heck am I supposed to do, Steve? You with me or you disagree?
Yeah, I mean, if you're really targeting or locking in a defensive player where they can only make contact from the chest, shoulders to the hips, like we might as well just get rid of defense. I don't know what football would even look like because you can't go high or it's a personal foul hit to the head, and you can't go low or the guy's going to tear his knee, break his leg, break his femur. Like a lot of things can happen low too. So there's really just you're handcuffing the defense. And now, if it is absolutely malicious, I can understand. Like if you're actively launching the crown of your helmet into a guy's jaw, which I'll get to in a second, because we're not done with film study here. We're not done with clips. Right? We got more. There's more to get into. I can understand if it's malicious, like you're actually trying to hurt someone or remove them from the game, like a Bounty Gate situation with the Saints, like 10 years ago or however long ago.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. I don't know. Sean Payton did get suspended for a year, so they must have had some proof. But you're just handcuffing defenses. Like it's already hard to play defense. You can't touch anyone. You can't grab a hand. We've seen that the last couple of weeks, especially against the Philadelphia Eagles on Rock Ya-Sin. Were we winning that game? Were we in that game? We were in it. It didn't look good, but the refs really dicked us on that Rock Ya-Sin call where maybe we come back and steal a game because guess what? We just stole a game from the Giants. Who's to say we don't get that call and maybe we break a big play? All I'm saying is the refs have their fingerprints on some games. And even the ones we've won, even the ones we've lost. So I'm keeping it 50-50 here. I'm not trying to split hairs. This was something that I noticed and wanted to talk about. And I said, if I'm talking about this after win, it probably looks better from us. If it looks like if we lost, it's probably like, oh, Stephen Willard just on here crying. I just don't see it that way because we've been affected by calls, wins and losses. And I know you're not a ref guy. I'm not a ref guy. But I'm starting to notice some things with Brian Branchville. And, while we're on the subject of player safety and shots to the head and, keeping the NFL safe, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? That's a still image. I wanted to put in the whole clip, but YouTube flags us for copyright stuff if we load in videos of things. So we have to really kind of pick and choose. But if you guys are not familiar with this play, this is after Jared Goff got sacked. I can't remember who the player was. He's celebrating, goes to do like some type of soccer kick in his celebration, and Jared Goff's head happens to be there. Did we get anything, Will? No, we didn't. Oh, hang on. We're not done with some clips. We got some more images to bring in. Mainly pay attention to this bottom one. I tried to find a better picture, but this was probably the best one I could find. You guys remember this on Frankie Louvu last year in the NFC divisional round? No call on a pick six. Now, you can see Jared Goff has his head is almost separated from his body, Will. He had to leave this game for a drive or two and go into concussion protocol to get cleared. And I saw earlier this year, I can't remember which game it was, the same exact type of thing happened. And they threw a flag because the quarterback is considered defenseless. Even on a pick six, you cannot target the quarterback unless he is actively in the play. Now, is he in the play there, Jared Goff? Yeah. Does Frankie Louvu launch himself at Jared Goff's chin strap? Absolutely. So I don't know what it is, Will. We're not getting calls, but we're getting all kinds of flags on defense for the same type of stuff. Jared Goff is the least protected quarterback in the league, in my opinion.
I don't know about least protected in the league, but there's been some Jared Goff missed calls. I can't say that there hasn't. But I love it. I love it because I think it just feeds into everything that we are as Detroit Lions fans, as Detroit Lions players. It just allows us another reason to have a chip on our shoulder, and it's going to make us winning the whole thing just that much sweeter. But I don't disagree with you, Steve, and you nailed it when you said I love talking about this after a victory because I hate the feeling of I don't even care about people saying that we're crying about it. I just hate the feeling like I'm crying about a loss. When we lose, I just want to say, F it, get better. got to figure out how to win the next one. But
Want to clean
after
up.
a win,
Want to clean up.
yeah, yeah, after a win, it makes me a little bit more open to talking about it. But I do agree with you if we're just going to be open and transparent. The Lions have been on the crappy end of some crap calls for a long time, and it hasn't stopped. Even though we're having success, I think that the success comes from Coach Campbell's mentality that he brought to the Detroit Lions, which is no excuses, no explanations. We are going to play through whatever BS happened. And I liked Rock Yassin, that phantom pass interference that he got, I believe, against the Philadelphia Eagles. In a clutch moment in the game, he could have easily cried about it, and he just said, "Hey, listen, I guess I just got to get better. I got to do better, whatever, and move on." Wasn't pass interference. Now, I will say, as a defensive back, that one that he got yesterday,
It's the
that
same
was
thing.
PI. It was PI. It was PI. It was PI. But it was just a thing of beauty. It was a thing of beauty. So he was underneath. He was underneath, and he had his arm from underneath. Underneath, he just held it for just a split second too long. A split second too long, and then the receiver cried about it and begged for the PI. And I think that helped him get the PI too. It was PI, but it was how we teach it. It was how we teach it. Hey, I might hold you at the hip, or I might get underneath and just hold that arm a little bit under here. But you just got to do it for a split second to get that guy off his track. You can't just hold on to it. But I'll tell you this, Steve, when it first happened, I couldn't see it. That's how I didn't see it until they put it on the big screen, and it was kind of in slow mo. And I see, okay, I see what he did. But it's a ticky tack call. It didn't have to be called. So I don't know. Bottom line
I've seen
is,
worse not get called.
yeah. Bottom line is, Detroit Lions aren't gonna. You're never gonna hear the Detroit Lions complain. But is it happening, Steve? Are we talking about reality? Yes, yes, it's happening. And I don't know what it is. I'm not gonna say the league doesn't want the Detroit Lions to win it all, because I think that now the league is kind of shown that they enjoy the Detroit Lions being a part of prime time. We're getting prime games where we're getting some more. Publicity for the Detroit Lions, and there's a buzz, and some might say that we're America's team now, Steve. I don't know. I kind of feel like that. So
Have been for the last 3 years, I think.
yeah, I definitely agree. Sometimes I feel like there's so many fans that get into our inboxes, get into the comments, and they say, "Hey, listen, I'm a Washington Commanders fan, but I cheer for you guys. I'm hoping you guys continue to do well or whatever." So, yeah, man, maybe we're America's team.
The ratings say that we are. Well, at one point this year, I think it's still the case that we're the most watched football team in the NFL. That speaks for itself. But let me ask you one last question. Do you think that
Talk to
there's
me.
players in the league, mainly quarterbacks, who get favorable calls because of who they are, like a Patrick
So we're
Mahomes
talking about Patrick Mahomes.
or Josh Allen, sometimes Lamar Jackson, Joe
Yeah,
Burrow, like
yeah.
the big dogs of the quarterback position? Do you think they get favorable calls?
Being a sports guy like you are, Steve, I'm gonna say the Michael Jordan effect.
Hmm.
If it's that, just like Brian Branch, if it's a 50-50 call, Brian Branch is getting called for targeting or personal foul. It's just where he sits in the big trajectory of things. If it's a 60-40 call, 60 being the call was against Patrick Mahomes, 40 being that he was innocent, he's still getting the call. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Even on a
it's
play 60 yards down the field, he's calling for a pass interference, and the refs are looking at him like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll probably give you this one.
he Patrick Mahomes, man, and I only know this because people have done montages of it. But Patrick Mahomes has gotten so many late flags. You know those flags where the refs kind of like,
Okay, maybe.
you know what I mean, like those ones. So he's just gotten a lot of those. But does he deserve it, Steve? The dude has done some phenomenal things, and he's done some great things. So yeah, if it's a 50-50 call, he deserves to get the call. He's earned that. Hey, you gotta beat the champ. You gotta knock the champ out. You don't just get a 50-50 decision against the champ. That's how I feel. So he's done a lot of things in the league to earn the right to get some extra calls. Now, it shouldn't be egregious by any means, but if it's 50-50, give him the call, whatever. Like, and it is what it is, like I said, but it better be like you're kind of not sure. Okay, it's Patrick, I'm gonna throw it. It better not be egregious. But under those realms, that's what superstars get, man. They get the benefit of the doubt if I'm a little bit unsure. And then the guy who's a practice squad guy, second string quarterback, quarterback that maybe shouldn't even have made it to the dance. Yeah, he's not getting the call, even if I'm kind of 60-40. Maybe that was low. No, they ain't getting that call. So it just is what it is, man. You got to fight through it to become that guy.
You can't convince me that if Kyle Allen comes into a game, he shouldn't get superstar treatment, Will, if he has to. But I asked that favorable question because a couple weeks ago, I watched J.J. McCarthy get absolutely protected at Ford Field, like some questionable roughing the passer calls. Everyone in the league, including like the big meat, like I saw some Barstool Sports guys, I saw the Bussin guys talking about it, like, and I'm with it. Like those guys are unbiased. They don't really have a favorite team in that particular game, the Lions or the Vikings. I watched J.J. McCarthy come in here and get sacked or hit 2 or 3 times, and he got a personal foul call. And I think all three, if that's what the number was, were questionable. And I'm thinking, JJ's essentially a rookie. At the time, he had like 3 starts, and he's getting calls like that while I got to watch Jared Goff, a 10-year vet, get soccer kicked in the head and his chin blown off from a Frankie Louvu helmet. No flag gets called. I don't think if the number is, it's really, really low, like 1 or 2, I would say we've got roughing the passer calls on Jared Goff this year. To my head, in my head, I cannot think of a single one this year, but I'm trying to be optimistic that maybe there's 1 or 2. So that's why I say things like Jared Goff is the least protected quarterback in this league, which is crazy because he's one of the most immobile. So if we're talking about a guy who's defenseless in a pocket, Jared Goff is going to be the poster boy for that quote. Like he is literally not moving. He can't. He's just not athletic enough. It's not a knock, but those are the guys you should be protecting. He can't move. He can't get out of the way. Patrick Mahomes can escape. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, like all those guys can move a little bit and get out of the pocket and protect themselves to an extent. Jared Goff is a sitting duck and he doesn't get any calls for it. That's all I got for tonight. That's all.
No, I agree with you. You're not wrong. Jared Goff is a black sheep, man. Yeah, he is. Like, and I don't know why. Cali boy, clean cut, nice dude. I don't understand why he's so underrated, hated. I mean, it's not like he's the first non-mobile quarterback like to ever play the game. So I don't.
Tom Brady
I
got
just
the
don't
same
get it.
calls.
Yeah, I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it. Jared Goff gets treated like he's Cam Newton.
Like a
like
redheaded stepchild that nobody loves.
Yeah, like he's some guy 250 pounds that's built like a D end, and if he gets hit, so what? He runs over people as much as he gets hit. Like that's how I feel like he gets treated sometimes. But I don't know. I think I don't know, Steve. It's just
It's a great
interesting.
white buffalo. We'll never have an answer. We'll never know the
Yeah,
truth.
I can't explain. Maybe he pissed off the commissioner or something, man. I don't know. Like, is his wifey related to the commissioner or something? Like, or
I don't know.
was
Maybe he
commissioner's
slept
son
with the
trying to get with
commissioner's
wifey
daughter
or
like
something?
in college or something. I don't know. Before
I
Jared got married.
something. Man.
Maybe he's a Democrat. Who knows? I have
Who
no idea.
knows? Who knows? Something. It could be anything, Steve. It could be anything. So,
No offense to our Democrat watchers. It's just a joke. I know some of them
yeah.
will take it very well. But anything else for tonight?
Honestly, Steve, I have one more thing. One
Oh
more
boy.
thing.
Buckle up. Here we go.
Hopefully you stay to the end. If not, I will put it on a different episode. Jason in Brooklyn or Brookie from Spotify, you are the winner of a free hat. Now, it's gonna be dealer's choice, but reach out to us either Twitter, Detroit Den 313, email Detroit Den 313 at Gmail, or on the Facebook page, or either of our personal Twitters, and we will hook you up. Again, meant to put it in the front of the episode, but hopefully you watched till the end. Probably looking for whoever the winner was. I'm sure the winner probably knew who they were. So yeah, Jason and Brooklyn or Brookie from Spotify, you won the hat, and get a hold of us.
My last thing, I got to get better at this as well, is trying to give the new members some shout outs. It's been a little while since I've done it. So, real quick, Stephen Campbell, Toby Fader, Charles Babineau, Big Rock, Christopher Spicer, Kelly Owen, Drew Cortez, Mark Cheadle, Jeff Abbott, Elias 918, Jonathan Bischoff, all new members within the last 2 weeks. Hey, we're having a little conversation about when this giveaway is going to go down. If you're interested, if you're still watching, think about it. Not required. Greatly appreciated. Stick around. Hit that like button. We'll be back later with another show.
Peace.